Changes are inevitable during a project, so handling change well is key to every project's success. Performing integrated change control can help you deal with change effectively. This process involves reviewing, approving, and managing changes to project deliverables, plans, and processes. A formal change request should be submitted whenever a change to a project or process is needed. If members of the project team make even small changes without using the change control process, these could accumulate and badly affect the project scope, budget, and schedule. So how can you effectively manage changes? First of all, you should develop a method to identify changes. This could be changes that are initiated by the project team or stakeholders, or they could be environmental, technical, or legislative changes that may affect the project. Next, address and manage changes promptly. Slow responses may affect the time, cost, or feasibility of making a change, so emergency procedures need to be in place to fast-track the approval of change requests when necessary. You should also document the impact of changes. Project managers need to track and document the impact of all changes in an issues log or change control log. This helps improve your own change management skills and develops resources for others in similar projects. The project team should always review and assess change requests before making a decision to reject or approve them. When reviewing a change request, you need to determine who initiated the request and what type of change it asks for. You also need to understand the factors that have led to the request. These may be customer demands, changes in legislation, technical difficulties, and so on. You need to assess what impact the change could have on scope, quality, schedule, and cost. Suppose the change you're considering pushes out the scheduled completion date. That means you'll need resources longer than expected, and this will cost the customer more. Exploring alternatives is always a good idea. Perhaps the change is needed, but is there a more cost-effective or efficient way to do it? Or perhaps the change is a good idea, but it should be delayed or implemented at a particular time to avoid disruption to the project. Finally, you need to decide whether the change should be approved. Depending on the change request, your customer and sponsor may be part of this decision. You may also have a formal change control board that reviews all change requests. Together, you will decide whether the benefits of making the change increase or decrease the chances of successful project completion while still meeting the project objectives. Depending on your organization and the complexity of your project, you may have a formal change control board. A change control board reviews change requests that exceed the project manager's authority level. All change control board decisions are documented and communicated to stakeholders. Members of the change control board can include project stakeholders, such as managers, technical experts, and project team members, as well as others who might not have any connection to the project. Others may be called in for their expert judgment. These decision makers include customer representatives, consultants, and members of industry groups, professional and technical associations, and the project management office. The project team is expected to provide expert judgment too. There's another aspect to integrated change control that you'll hear a lot about in project management: configuration management. You can think of configuration management as a fancy term for version control. A configuration management system is an all-encompassing system of procedures, software, and policies used to control versions of the product and its components. It also controls all product-related documentation and key project management documents, such as the project management plan and various logs. So why is configuration management so important? It prevents version-related errors, such as delivering the wrong version of a product to the customer, testing the wrong version, or losing the correct version by mistakenly overwriting it with an out-of-date one. The larger a project is, the more complex the processes you follow and the more people you have working on it. In these cases, mistakes are likely to happen. Using a configuration management system greatly reduces the risk of errors. Besides ensuring version control, the configuration management system has another important role. It establishes a set of processes and checks for ensuring that only approved changes are made to the product and project documents. This is where the change control system comes into play. It's a subset of the configuration management system. In summary, performing integrated change control involves reviewing, approving, and managing changes to project deliverables, plans, and processes. This process helps ensure only necessary changes are approved and made, so a project remains within budget and on schedule.